These are the latter days.
Travis Wingoodsall, Mosiah 29, starting in verse 21. And behold, now I say unto you, you cannot dethrone an iniquitous king, save it be through much contention and the shedding of much blood. For behold, he has his friends in iniquity. He keepeth his guards about him, and he teareth up the laws, and he trampleth under his feet the commandments of God. And he enacteth laws, and sendeth them forth among his people, yea, laws after the manner of his own wickedness. And whosoever doth not obey his laws, he causeth to be destroyed. And whosoever doth rebel against him, he will send his armies against them to war. And if he can, he will destroy them. And thus an unrighteous king doth pervert the ways of all righteousness. 3 Nephi chapter 7. And the people were divided one against another, and they did separate one from another into nation states, giving tribute. And thus they did destroy the federal government of the land. And the regulations of the federal government were destroyed because of the secret combination of friends and kindreds of those who murdered the prophets. This is the plot that we are being warned about. The second vision of Joseph Smith is not literal history. It is a prophecy of the latter days. The Book of Mormon is our warning. The Book of Mormon is not literal history. This is what Trump is involved in actively doing. We were warned. The dates are given. But you turned it literal history, and you don't see the dates now. Wherein are those dates, Travis? They're blatantly obvious, right at the very beginning of the Book of Mormon. And thus, being overcome with the Spirit, he was carried away in a vision. This is an exact same pattern match for Joseph Smith's second vision. Pay attention. They give you the day. Even that he saw the heavens open. How do we have calendars? How do we have clocks? And he thought he saw God. That would be Saturn, the father of Jupiter, sitting upon his throne, the constellation of Ophiuchus. And he saw one, Jupiter, descending out of the midst of heaven, and his luster was above that of the sun at noonday. And he saw 12 stars in Leo, whose brightness did exceed that of the stars in the firmament. Revelation chapter 12, verse 1, 2, and 5. Joseph Smith translation moves verse 5 to verse 3. It's also in Matthew. It's also from Isaiah. This is the start of the ministry. And the date, obviously, is the 23rd of September 2017. So then, in the first year of the reign of Zedekiah, because this isn't literal history, the first year is 2017. Oh, that's when Trump was put on the throne by Russia. Yeah, 600 years from the time Lehi left Jerusalem. You chose not to believe the Book of Mormon, and now you are reaping the whirlwind of consequences. And you have no idea why or how it's happening, because you don't believe the Book of Mormon. So, Trump's war on Mormons. L.A. Mormons. L.A. Mormon. Cox is in denial of what needs to be done. He's not asking for clarification this time. He is unfit, and that's why the church wanted him in. Sorry, Lyman. The church gets what the church wants. And so he came out yesterday and not only called Sister Homewrecker Mendenhall's new pride flags dumb, he also lied to us. He said that if we ever became riotous in Utah, he'd immediately stop you. Yeah, well, we already had that with Islam. He did nothing. He stood back, standing by. Did nothing to stop the riotous Islam in Utah. What do you think it meant when they had Islamic flags, burning American flags, and signs that said "From the river to the sea"? Yeah, peaceful, huh? Yeah, that's peaceful. There'll be peace when the Jews are exterminated. That's what it meant. God. And yet Islam is demanding the extermination of the Jews, claiming the Jews are exterminating them when they caused the war. And so if that doesn't constitute a riot, what does, Cox? We need clarification. What a dumbass. He is unfit. So not yesterday. No, Monday night. You guys had a power outage here in the valley. The valley of the jolly green space alien from Kolob. And so, that would explain why my views tanked. So like I said, members of the 70, the majority of my viewers, who keep failing to properly return and report to Nelson, you guys are dropping the ball. Naughty, naughty boys. Naughty, naughty boys. Prophecies are being fulfilled, guys. You guys know of the coming of Jesus, right? What is the coming of Jesus? War. Destruction. And there it is. We're waiting for Trump to send in the troops to Chicago and New York now, because they too have joined the protest in support of LA's protest. This is now day 6, right? Yep, day 6. I had to make a little calendar notation so I get my numbers correct on the new thumbnail picture that's going to be the exact same. That's going to confuse people. Oh, is this the same video, Travis? I don't want to keep bringing over files. The church had failed. You should have known you would have failed with Trump. And yet Trump probably is the only person who'd actually have the cojones to do this kind of a stunt. But he's also the one that will fail. But nonetheless, Trump is talking about expanding this same thing across the nation. A civil war, martial law, Insurrection Act, 1798 Aliens Act. He's doing it. He said he was going to do it. He's now doing it. He's late. He was supposed to do it back in 2021. And I noticed a pattern of practice. Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays and Thursdays. What's up with that? All other days? Nope. Wednesdays and Thursdays lately. What is up with that? Weird. It's 3 in the morning. Is it a cockroach? The army of cockroaches. Nightmares of Newburgh. So, Fox 13 News Utah, or not Fox 13, Fox News, came out with news trying to support Trump on this. And they were in horror. Of the violent nature of Mormons rioting in LA, who were doing donuts. Oh my God. Just hilarious. So yes, Trump said something that was very telling. He said, if it weren't for me, LA would be burning. Didn't LA just burn? Very telling. So the California governor's lawsuit was denied. Uh-oh. That's going to empower Trump to send troops into Chicago and New York and then other places. It's coming. Pay attention for it. The big union leader down in LA arrested, along with CNN reporters. It's coming. And then Greta, dear God, girl, go back to school. Lock up the psychologist who told you that school was too stressful, so you should go around the world and protest people and support Islamic terrorism. Give up your support animal. Stop taking the drugs and get detoxed. And then you deserve a big old spanking by your parents, who they themselves need a big old spanking for their inability to control your wild child nature from the false diagnosis of autism. That was her justification for not going to school. Psychologist told her it was too stressful. And so you don't have to go to school because it's too stressful. Oh, you want to protest the dolphins? Okay. Oh, you want to protest climate change? Okay. Oh, you want to protest Israel for being attacked by Islam? Okay. Whatever you want, dear. Don't get angry. So yes, Israel saved her life by stopping her. She called it kidnapping. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna go wherever I want. It's a war zone. Dear God, what a dense woman. And so yeah, she was deported. And she's complaining. Dear God, somebody spank that child. So, the rest of the video. Cox failed to understand the Book of Mormon, understand the big picture of what's going on right now, understand that we're in the latter days, that this is all part of it. If he'd been paying attention to conference, as he's supposed to, he would have heard Nelson say, these are the latter days. Cox would have then made the connection with the Book of Mormon that, oh, I'm supposed to run the state of Utah independent of the federal government. There's an agency list of Utah agencies in the state of Utah. And I'm going to read over that list because it's relatively small. It's from the government's own website. Can't enlarge, can I? And so, agency in alphabetical order. Agriculture and food, business and commerce, community and culture, economic opportunity. It's just the one page, okay? Let's see. Education, environment, general services, health, human services, information technology, insurance, labor, legal, libraries and history, military and veterans, public safety and corrections, purchasing and financing, records and archives, state government jobs, taxes, transportation, and workforce services. That's it. That's all. And so, the United States government for the whole nation, yeah, there's an A to Z index of at least a couple of pages per letter. What's Cox going to do? Medicaid. Is he going to wait for it to be destroyed before he realizes, oh, I need to do something for Utahns who are on Medicaid? Do you see where he's failing? He is not understanding the bigger picture that's going on. He is letting it play out. He is waiting until you suffer before he does something. Maybe. He has no clue what to do. He's governor and he doesn't know how to do his job. He is not understanding the big picture of what's going on. He is trying to claim that, okay, LA deserved it. He doesn't understand that this is the Civil War. That Trump is playing president, authoritarian president. That he's the chosen one. Somebody had to do it. What is he going to do? How is he going to run this nation, this state? Independent of the rest of the nation. He has no clue. What form of government are you going to have, Cox? Or are you just going to quit and hand it over to the church? Because that'll go over well, won't it? Oh, you quit, and now there's riots. Yeah, because the anti-Mormon, anti-Christ, apostate, Korahor numbers have surpassed those of Mormon in Utah. Remember, there's 600,000 on Trump's hit list that you protected with your little secret organization against Trump to be exempt from Trump's laws. You're not getting the big picture of what's going on. You are not understanding what Trump wants you to do. Nobody is, technically. Everybody still thinks we're going to continue to be the United States of America. Not understanding that we're being made Great Britain again. What did you think MAGA stood for? Everybody was wondering, well, again, well, when was it great? Well, it was Great Britain. Hello? When a king ruled the land, and each state were independent nation states under the king, King George. It's important to go to school, Greta, so that you don't do something stupid. Of course, our schools need to teach this stuff and not teach the Bible as literal history. and use revisionist history for everything. And then the Romans allowed the Jews to murder Jesus. So tomorrow's history class, kids, is on the resurrection of Jesus in the 40 days before Pentecost. The first Pentecost. Oh my hell. Yeah, we'll just ignore Moses. The Jewish prophecy. Yep. I mean, seriously. You guys are going to suffer because Cox doesn't know how to do his job. He failed as lieutenant governor to do his job, but the church, yep, you're the right guy for us. Get out, Herbert. Herbert had no problem quelling the 2020 riots. They're terrorists! Get them! Are you going to do that, Cox? Are you? It's coming. Do you have it in you? Are you going to be able to channel your Danite ancestry blood? And do what's necessary for the church and kingdom? Yeah, this is the whole plot of the church. Not just to run Utah by itself, but to take over the whole world. This war must extend throughout the whole United States and thus trigger the World War. All is depending on you, Trump. Because Trump is supposed to be assassinated. Because those of you who knew about 3rd Nephi chapter 7 should have caught on to what I skipped. Now behold, I will show unto you that they did not establish a king over the land in 2021. A test run, Oaks? Seriously? You have had 200 years of test runs. Oh my hell. Talk about incompetence. But in the same year, the 30th year, they did destroy upon the judgment seat, yea, did murder the President of the United States of America. Hang Mike Pence. Hang Mike Pence. I warned Mitt Romney. He didn't listen. And then he quit. He finally caught on. Do you not understand? Mitt Romney knew the bigger picture. He caught on. He quit. Stewart caught on. Quit. We're Mormons. And Mormons are living in denial land that we're Mormons. Or should I say Latter-day Saints? Why do you deny Latter-day Saints, Mormons? Why do you deny the second coming of Jesus? and what it means. Because you believe Jesus is coming, and you don't believe Joseph Smith. And I guess we have to go over it yet again. Joseph Smith, 1838 history, visions. Quoting from Malachi, he adds, "For they that come shall burn them, saith the Lord." I thought Jesus was going to burn people. Who's they? You ignore this at your own peril, Mormons, because they are here and they are planning on burning people. Maybe in the coming day, or is it coming days? Nelson doesn't know anymore because Trump failed. This is what he was supposed to do immediately upon taking office. And he hesitated. He delayed. The ICE raids were supposed to be met with protests. And he was supposed to send in the military then to all the different states. And it failed. And Nelson was humiliated coming out at the pulpit of conference saying, "I don't know the day or the hour." And Oaks was threatening you for Easter 5 times. "You're gonna die. You have to be righteous to be resurrected from the ash." And oops, you now know them as false prophets. And yet one man only has been right this whole time. From the beginning, when the first sign in the heavens warning Americans, not just Mormons, that this was it. I stand alone like the scorpion.